Hey, what's up, guys? It's Andrew Santowski, making you another UFC Fight Night prediction video. If you guys, if I don't make a UFC Fight Night prediction video for the week, you can find my predictions in the community section on my YouTube page. So, done that several times this spring. So please take a look out for that. But yes, today I'm making a video. This time a prediction video for UFC Fight Night, Vettori versus Cannonier. Fights go down in a couple hours. I like making my predictions day of, just in case any of my opinions on the fights have changed. So like I said, it's going down today, Saturday, June 17th, 2023, 7 p.m. Prelims probably don't start till 7, I guess. 7 or 6. Yeah, 7. And the main card starts at 10, so late night of fights for us, guys. Decent headliner. Don't really care for Vettori headlining anymore. We've just kind of seen enough for him. But it's going down from the Apex today, Las Vegas, Nevada. Two guys headlining have been mainstays in the middleweight division and pretty much mainstay headliners, man. These guys pretty much headline every time they fight against whatever opponent they're fighting. So first up, Modestas Bustakas against Zach Pauga. Credit to Modestas for making it back to the UFC after he was cut. I don't believe he should have been cut after Khalil Roundtree blew his knee out. But man, what an impressive win this guy got. UFC Australia card, beats Tyson Pedro. Just very impressive, man. Really looked improved in that fight, and I believe he clearly beat Tyson Pedro that night. And he's going up against Zach Pauga, who I'm pretty high on, man. I was on this guy, or actually I picked against this guy against Jordan Wright, but he really bullied Jordan Wright, really got really physical with this guy, man. And I think Pauga is going to be a tougher fight for Bustakas than a lot of people think, man. I think Zach Pauga is actually going to win this fight here. I think both highly of these guys as prospects in the light heavyweight division, and I kind of hate to see them paired off against each other, but I am going to side with Pauga here in this fight. Ronnie Lawrence against Daniel Argueta, and I don't really know too much about Argueta. He is does have a win in the UFC. He did beat Nick Aguirre, who I can't really, like I said, lost to Damon Jackson in his UFC debut. No shame in that. Damon was on a serious roll back then. But Ronnie Lawrence, I think Ronnie Lawrence is coming off, I want to say, a disappointing loss. Yeah, he is. He hasn't fought in almost a year. Lost to Kakramanov. I'm going to side with him here, but, kind of, he needs to win this fight, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to pick Ronnie Lawrence. Teresa Bleda against Gabriela Fernandez. I'm going to side with Bleda here, man. Like I said, I know Dana really didn't want to sign her on the Contender Series, but, I mean, she's a Czech prospect. Like I said, I think they call her a mini Ronda or something. So, like I said, she got that one on the Contender Series. Lost to Natalia Silva. We know how good she is. Going up against Gabriela Fernandez. But there's a lot of good Brazilian prospects, man. I mean, she lost to Jasmine the Vicious, but we just seen how good Jasmine is by her beating Miranda Maverick. So this could be a closely contested fight here, but I'm going to side with Bleda. But again, this is a fight that I look forward to watching, man, because I think both these women can be prospects in the strawweight division, or in the flyweight division, I'm sorry. Oh, man. Gonna pop that back up, guys. Next up, we have Carlos Hernandez against Denise Bondar. And Hernandez has a couple wins in the UFC. I'm trying to think why I can't get there we go. Hernandez has a couple wins in the UFC. I believe they've both been by a split decision on his wins. Lost to Alan Nascimento, no shame in that. That guy is an extremely physical guy for flyweight. Denise Bondar, very disappointing loss to Malcolm Gordon. Hopefully we can see what this guy can do. I'm still picking this guy to win this fight, but man, he hasn't fought in over a year and a half since that disappointing loss to Malcolm Gordon. And I'm just not really high on Malcolm. I know he's had a couple close fights in the UFC, but Malcolm, he folds, man. He folds very bad, and I'm just not really high on the guy. So I'm gonna pick Bondar here, but Hernandez does have a couple good wins on his record, and we can't judge Hernandez off his last loss. Kung Ho Kang against Christian Quinonez. Man, Kung Ho Kang, this guy feels like he's been in the UFC for well over a decade now, and he might have. This guy's been in the UFC for over a decade. Wow. And very impressive to him, man, to make it that amount of tenure in the UFC is absolutely phenomenal. Going up against Christian Quinonez here. He's got a nice win over Khalid Taha. I like that win. I'm gonna side with this guy here, but Kung Ho Kang, man, he's a proven winner in the UFC. I'm gonna side with the younger guy in Quinonez here to get the job done. Jimmy Flick against Alessandro Costa. I mean, ever since Jimmy Flick retired, I'm just not really high on the guy, man. Now he retired after that win against Cody Durden. Lost to Charles Johnson. You know, I just don't really see it getting any better for him, man. It's quick sub or bust for Jimmy Flick. Costa, wasn't really impressed with this guy on the Contender Series. Lost to Amir Albazi. We've seen how good Albazi is, but I'm going to say Costa's good enough to beat Flick, but I'm not holding my breath. Muslim Salikhov against Dalby. You know, I thought Salikhov might be a quick exit from the UFC once they brought him in, I want to say in 2017, but he's held his own, man. He's gotten better to some extent, I believe. I do believe I mean, I had a bet on him this fight, but I do believe he was gifted a decision over Elizu Zaleski in Abu Dhabi 3 years ago. But a nice win over Andre Fiallo. Lost to Jingling Lee. Beat Trinaldo. I mean, he's got some decent wins here, man. And I'm just not really high on Nicholas Dalby here. So I'm going to side with Muslim Salikhov to get the job done. Nicolas Mota against Manuel Torres. Again, not high on either of these guys, but I'm going to pick Manuel Torres to beat him. Pat Sabatini against Lucas Almeida. I want to see good things from Sabatini. Don't know if we're going to see it here, man. Lucas Almeida is a serious warrior, man. I mean, he's got a nice one over Damon, or Alex Caceres and Graveling, beat TJ Laramie. Jamel Emmers, that was a sick heel hook. He's going up against Lucas Almeida here. He's 14-1, coming off a nice one over Mike Trezano. Now I'm going to side with him here too. Again, I'm going to side with Almeida. Something tells me he might catch Sabatini here, but man, if Sabatini can get the sub, all props to him. Christian Leroy Duncan against Armin Petrosyan. Something didn't really impress me about Duncan in this fight. I think Todorovic went out with an injury, if I believe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just wasn't really impressed with Duncan. Armin Petrosyan has impressed me in the UFC. I do like how this guy fights. You know, this guy, he's beaten some really good fighters. AJ Dobson, Gregory Rodriguez. Kyle Borrello just took him down. But Petrosyan put up a fight. I like Petrosyan here, man. I'm just not really high on Leroy Duncan. I am high on Petrosyan. I think Petrosyan is a very active fighter and a good fighter as well. Armin Tsarkuyan against Joaquim Silva. I think this fight might end very quickly. I think Tsarkuyan's going to put on a performance, knock him out. It's a minus 1,000 favorite, so I'm going to side with Tsaruk. Vettori against Cannonier. I was not impressed with Vettori in his last outing against Galice. I think he might be getting shop worn here. And just slowing down, man. Just slowing down from the fight game itself. Cannonier, I don't know. Cannonier just, you know, I think he's underrated, man. I think he's been overrated at times, but I think he's probably underrated coming into this fight, man. Nice one over Sean Strickland. This guy continually goes 5 rounds and just fights top-notch competition. I'm going to side with Cannonier here, man. Maybe I'm going to side with him picking up a decision over Vettori, but it'd be nice if he can get a nice finish here. But I'm going to side with Cannonier. So, guys, my picks are going to be Cannonier, Tsarkuyan, Petrosyan, Almeida, Torres, Salikhov, Costa, Quinonez, Bondar, Bleda, Lawrence, and Pauga.